In my last video, I explained I bought new equipment to upgrade my home network when I moved. In that video, I unboxed and set up the Unifi Cloud Gateway Max. That device does have four 2.5 gigabit switch ports, but none of them are PoE, and additionally, I'd like 10 gig connectivity for, some future purposes. Now, additionally, honestly, 4 ports is not really going to be enough even for my current network setup. So additionally, I'm going to need some more ports. So for that reason, I invested in the Unifi Enterprise 8 PoE. Now, this thing is way overpowered for where I am now, but I did want to give myself some flexibility, for future upgrades. Now, if you're curious what's included in how to set it up with this particular switch, I got you covered. This is B from Tay Talk Tech, and today I'm going to unbox and set up the Unifi Enterprise 8 PoE switch. So stick around. I have a favor to ask. If you like this type of video and want to see more content like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you like it. Let me know what you liked, didn't like, or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional outbursts down in the comments below. And lastly, stick around all the way to the end to get the most out of this video. Let's do this thing. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and just bring my face down. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this device. All right, so this is actually the one that I got here. It's a relatively expensive switch. It's one of the most expensive pieces of networking equipment I've ever bought, and actually it is the most expensive one that I've ever bought. So we can see here just a brief overview is that it's an 8-port layer 3 switch with 2.5 gigabit Ethernet PoE plus output. Now layer 3 means that it can do its own routing. These are typically what are known as core switches on networks, especially big enterprise type networks. So just a little bit of information there for you. It's got 8 2.5 gigabit PoE plus ports. It's got 2 10 gig SFP plus ports. It also offers up to 120 watts of total PoE availability, which is pretty good. And here's some additional accessories that you can get with it. Now, where we want to go down here is we want to go to the technical specifications. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Now, this switch is a lot bigger than the actual gateway that I unboxed in the previous video. Its dimensions are 200 by 248 by 44 millimeters, which is going to be 7.9 inches by 9.8 inches by 1.7 inches. Originally, I was going to use this small server rack that I have as my networking rack, but this switch doesn't fit in there. So we're going to have to improvise, and actually I have a shelf that I'm going to be using as my networking server rack. So that'll be fun. All right, it weighs 2.4 kilograms or 5.3 pounds. It's made of polycarbonate, which is plastic. I do miss them making a lot more of these devices in metal, but they got to save money where they can. Management interface, Ethernet in-band. Networking interfaces, we've already went over those two. PoE interface, it's got those 8 ports, and it gives the pin layouts here. Total non-blocking throughput is 40 gigabits a second. Switching capacity is 80 gigabits a second. Forwarding rate is 59.52 Mbps. The power method is universal input, 100 to 240 volt, AC 2A max, 50 to 60 hertz. It does come with a 150 watt power supply, which is crazy because I have laptops that have very similar size power bricks. It comes with a supported voltage range of 100 to 240 volts AC. It comes with total available power over Ethernet of 120 watts. Max PoE plus wattage per port by PSE is going to be 32. Voltage range PoE mode. It's going to have PoE 44 to 57 volts, PoE plus to 50 to 57 volts. It does come with a 1.3 color touchscreen. It's desktop mountable. It also comes with a wall mounting kit to be able to put that on the wall. ESD EMP protection. It's got that right there. Here's the ambient operating temperature, -5 to 45 degrees Celsius, 23 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Ambient operating humidity, 10 to 90%, non-condensing, and then there's its certifications. And it's got quite a bit of switch features. It's got like IGMP snooping, STP, RSTP with priorities and port level disable, voice VLANs, port mirroring, 802.1x, it's got layer 3 features such as DHCP for locally managed networks, DHCP relay, inter VLAN routing between networks on the same switch, and static routing between local networks. So it's got a lot of functionality. Now, if there's any functionality that you do want to see me cover from these lists, is definitely let me know, and that's something I would be happy to go ahead and consider down in the comments below. And then it's got LEDs, it's got system for status, it's got Ethernet link and activity, and it's got SFP plus link and activity. So yeah, that is pretty much the overview of this device. So what I want to go ahead and do now is switch to the desktop, and we will go ahead and get into actually unboxing this device. All right, let's go ahead and get the Switch unboxed. Here we go. We've got the same kind of paper type box that we had for the gateway, but here we've got a pretty picture of the Switch itself with a little bit of the Unifi logo in the back, or I should say the Ubiquiti logo in the back. We get a preview of what it looks like. Again, it's going to have this like perforated thing here that you're going to have to rip open. I've already pre-opened this, so that's why it's already open. But yeah, we can see here some more of the information about the device, what's included in the box, a little breakdown of the device itself, features, and works with Unified Network application. So that's stuff, some of the stuff we already knew. But yeah, the Unified Network application is going to be either your self-hosted or your cloud hosted service. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this bad boy open. All right, so here we go. We've got the top side here. We're going to open that up, and we can see it immediately here when we open up the box. So let's go ahead and let's take the Switch out first. Actually, no, let's go ahead and take this stuff out over here first, because it's got like this little side thing right here. See that? See that? See that? And inside of there, it's got some of the wall mounting stuff. Looks like it's got a little booklet. I'll try to take that out here in just a minute. Yep, it's got a little booklet about the device here. Pretty cool that we again have paper documentation included. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and try to get this bad boy out. Take these two out. These little corner pieces here, some pretty good high quality foam, helping protect this device. We can see here it's got these here to help protect the device ports. And before I go ahead and actually start showing you the Switch, we do also have the wall mount here. Here's that wall mount. Bam, bam. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside for now. And I don't think there's anything else in the box. I'm going to double check here before we actually put the Switch on the box itself. Nope, nothing else in here. So we no longer need that. Let me actually get that out of the shot here. There we go. All right, and here we go. We've actually got our Switch here. And this thing is pretty hefty, especially compared to the gateway. This thing's got some weight on her. But yeah, we can see here we've got our 1.3-inch screen, we've got our 8 ports here, and we've got our two 10 gigabit ports here. Those are FSPs. We'll just have to take out these little things here that are helping protect those. So we can see that like that. There we go. This thing it's built pretty well. Even though it's made out of the polycarbonate, it's still built pretty well. It feels pretty good. Yeah, so I'm liking the way that this feels. So let's go ahead and get it connected here. I'm going to unplug the cable. This is a pretty good cable, nice white pretty cable. That's one of the things I do appreciate about Ubiquiti's products is they're all very attractive looking. And then here we go, we've got this little thing over the power thing in the back, so we're going to have to go ahead and take that off. And what you'll do is it'll start off in this way, and you'll go ahead and turn it that way, helping protect that side of it, which is, pretty nice to have that attention to detail. So we're going to take that, we're going to line it up, we're going to plug it in. And then I've got a plug here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bad boy and I'm going to plug it into this thing right here. And we'll see it start booting up just like that. So once you actually start this bad boy up, you're going to have to go ahead and you're going to have to go ahead and allow it time to boot up. So that's actually what we're going to go ahead and do now. So once it's finished booting up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come back, and we'll be able to go ahead and get this thing physically set up and connected before we actually go through the actual online setup. So I'll be right back. All right, so we've got the switch booted back up, and while I was doing all that, I actually got the gateway out and connected so we can actually physically connect these together. So let's go ahead and take a look here. There's nothing too exciting going on with it right now, but it does have this right here. I'm not going to actually go ahead and start pushing buttons just because I want to go ahead and keep that information private, just because it'll be part of my own personal network and things like that. But yeah, that's what it looks like once that's up. And we still need to get this actually physically connected to our network. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and take an Ethernet cable, which I actually have this one that I got with the gateway itself. It doesn't light up blue, like I was kind of curious if it did or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that in the next available port, which is this one right here. I'm actually just going to bring this over because it's a pretty short cable. I think overall, I think it's only like 12 inches long. So, and then what we want to do is we want to take that cable and we want to plug it into the first port, which is going to be this guy right here. It's really kind of hard to see on camera, but you know what? Let's go ahead and do it this way. Just so I can go ahead and show you what I'm doing here. There we go. We want to go ahead and put it in the first one, just like so, like that. Perfect. And there we go. So we've physically got it connected to the gateway. So the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is switch to the actual console and go ahead and finish getting that set up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and then I'll come back and switch over to the actual console itself. All right, so let's go ahead and get this added to our console. So one of the things that you're going to want to make sure that you do is that you have a device that is physically connected to the, I would suggest in this particular case, your gateway, because we want to be able to go ahead and add this switch to the actual gateway. And that's what we're going to be doing here. We actually just physically connected the switch to the gateway. And with Unifi, it's really, really easy to add additional devices. So here we are in the actual console itself. Let me just close this little one right here because that's nothing. Here we are in the console itself. We already got a message saying, yo, dude, hey, it's ready to add. So do you want to add it or remind me later? We're going to go ahead and hit add. All right. And there we go. There is our switch here. If you just saw that, it actually just said that it was adopting, and now it's actually in the process of adopting that switch. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here because it does say that the estimated time to complete that is going to be 5 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video again and I'll be right back. And literally right after I did that, it went offline. Now, this is a pretty common thing. So it actually went offline, and that's because it is updating. Now, I would love to be able to show you the actual device on the little screen that it has that it's updating, but it does say that it is updating here. And it's, and that's pretty common, right? Like your computers restart after updating. Usually typically, servers and all that kind of stuff are going to update. Your phones update and reboot. So what we're gonna go ahead and do here is we're gonna go ahead and just pause the video hopefully one last time, and then this will go ahead and be finished up to date and we'll be able to see it here. So I'll be right back. All right, and it looks like it's pretty much almost done adopting. It actually, now it's saying getting ready. Prior to that, it actually said adopting. So yeah, it's gonna have to go through this process if you've ever taken it out of the box and just added a new device to your network. So this is pretty common stuff. So But yeah, it's there. It says getting ready, getting ready. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if we click on it again if it'll give us update. We can already see that it's already giving us information here. I don't have any devices connected to it, but I don't currently plan on hooking any devices up to this switch directly until I get to the actual access point, which will be the next video in this series of updating the network. So, but yeah, this process, it's especially the first time that it comes out of the box, it is really going to take quite a bit of time. So this is completely normal. I'm not concerned. It may reboot multiple times, depending on the amount of updates that it needs and the type of updates that it needs. But pretty much what's going to happen here is that once it's completed its update process, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to see that its status is online, and I can see it physically here. And if I had a better setup, I would be able to show you these pretty seamlessly without actually having to switch between stuff, hooking, unhooking, and stuff like that. So I don't want to go to that extent. So maybe in the future, once the channel is a little bit bigger, I'll be able to go ahead and do that. But here we go. We can actually see that now that it is up to date, and yeah, it should be good. So yeah, we can see here its experience is 2.5 gigs. This one's just got gigabit Ethernet, and the reason it's saying gigabit Ethernet is because that connection to my ISP is a gigabit link, but that's the max that it's actually going to be able to support. If we don't, my internet service provider does not currently support anything higher than gigabit speed. So that's why we're seeing that as gigabit. And this one's going to be 2.5 gigabit. So yeah, we are all set. This switch is going to be a beast and a workhorse in my network for years to come. Again, this switch is overkill for my network, but I'm planning for the long term, which is something that I always encourage anyone who's setting up their network to do. If there is more you would like to see on, any specific feature, setup or anything like that, make sure you let me know down in the comments below, and it's definitely something that I will consider. Now, make sure you check out this other video from my channel as well as the previous videos that are regarding Unifi devices. Remember, mistakes make you better, so keep on making them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have the greatest of days.